Hey guys, Aaron CybertronZang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online series 8 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. A few episodes ago, we used a really fun Kyurem-W team, so we'll be playing a couple more games with it today. There's a rental and a paste for this in the description below, so feel free to try it out yourselves. Kyurem-W, definitely a little bit less common in Series 8, but it can be a lot of fun, and the Grimmsnarl on this team pairs with it really nicely. We've got a Shuckle Chansey team for the first one today, so oh gosh. Not what I was looking forward to going up against, but we'll see how it plays out. Either way, thanks as always for watching Road to Ranked. If you enjoy, please show your support by leaving a like. I'd really appreciate it. Oh gosh, Dialga does not seem like a great matchup either. If I'm my opponent, what's the lead here? We could lead Liepard Dialga and Max Guard Copycat to Trick Room. Dialga is not good here. I want to get screens up as early as possible, so I think I'm going to go Grimmsnarl. Incineroar has Taunt here, so like Taunt is honestly really valuable, but I feel like I need to put on pressure damage-wise too. I mean, Urshifu is close combat here, which is definitely valuable. I want Ferrothorn. Grimmsnarl, Incin, Kyurem, no, I think Ferrothorn needs to come out in this one. Oh gosh, why there's so much Shuckle Chansey running around right now, I feel like. It is definitely a tough strategy to go up against. But we'll see how things play out. Question of the day, by the way. I want to know what your least favorite pizza topping is down in the comment section below. I'm typically not a very picky eater, but olives just don't do it for me, so yeah. It's actually Indeedee plus Dialga, okay. Well, I can Light Screen plus Parting Shot into Dialga. But Dialga is actually pretty fast. Okay. Interesting. I mean, Light Screen here is definitely good. Although, I don't know if Parting Shot's really worth it. I think I'd rather taunt Indeedee in this position, actually. Yeah. So, Light Screen, taunt Indeedee, so then you can't go for Follow Me the subsequent turn. I feel like if you're not leading Liepard, it's likely let's Shuckle Chansey in the back. Okay, they just maxed Dialga. I also could have switched Grimmsnarl into Ferrothorn, but I don't really like that too much. I feel like Follow Me here makes a lot of sense. But if I can get a Light Screen off, that should help my Kyurem survive attacks from Dialga, and then I can bring it in and max Hailstorm. As long as like Trick Room doesn't go up, I feel like Kyurem should actually do really well here. Okay, the Helping Hand. That's gonna be a problem. Good thing is that Indeedee is gonna be relatively useless this upcoming turn. Okay, they offer Wyrmwind, so they're trying to just get rid of Incineroar here. Ooh, it's actually enough for a KO. Wow, that must be Life Orb then, yeah? Which also means I don't get Taunt off. It's not even Life Orb. Wow. Huh. Okay. Kind of want to go into Kyurem here. Yeah, that's tough. Like, I'm thinking Spirit Break here, Max and Guard. Because I feel like it would make sense for them to just Helping Hand Wyrmwind again into Kyurem now. So Spirit Break would definitely allow me to survive. And then, as long as Kyurem has any remaining HP, then we should be in okay shape after their third turn of Dynamax. Yeah. And I feel like Kyurem's obviously the main thing applying pressure here, but I didn't think Helping Hand Wyrmwind would one-shot without a Life Orb, but it might be, was it Advent Orb? I think that would make some sense. Okay, so we get Kyurem White out, but definitely a tricky spot. The tough thing with the Shuckle Chansey strats is I always just, try to like read into the like Liepard Dialga stuff, and the Indeedee was a really nice lead here. Okay, yeah, they do end up Wyrmwinding into us at least, so that's good. Okay, so we get Spirit Break off. It's mainly important just for that drop. I don't think we really need Reflect in this game, right? Not really, yeah. So I'm content to switch Grimmsnarl out into Ferrothorn now and go for a Hailstorm onto Indeedee, which covers for it being sashed and then KOs it. Because we should survive a Helping Hand Worm now with Light Screen and a Dialga at -1, but it's still really going to hurt, to be honest. Oh, they protect. That's a great protect. But I don't know if my opponent can actually deal with Ferrothorn, so I'm actually not that concerned, I think. It's probably better to have targeted Dialga with the Hailstorm there just to cover for the protect option, though. Because I'm going to one-shot Indeedee anyway the subsequent turn. Ooh, they Steel Spike into Grims. Ooh, okay, that's actually really nice for us. That is very nice. I'm still worried about Chansey and Shuckle, but as long as they don't get those two out simultaneously, it shouldn't be the end of the world. Hailstorm into Dialga would have been pretty nice there, though. But I'm thinking, like, even if it's Chansey plus Shuckle in the back, Ferrothorn, you know, can Iron Defense in this position. Okay, yeah, that was a nice turn for us. They don't have a switch. They don't have an... Well, they do have a nice switch in. They don't have a Dragon switch in, so it's better to Wormwind right now. Yeah. So let's just go for an Iron Defense here, start setting up, and go for a Wormwind onto... I mean, I think they're forced to follow me here, more or less. So I'm going to target Dialga. Yeah, that's fine. Although I guess it means they could get Trick Room up now, which isn't fun. There's a nice Protect on Indeedee. I don't know. Well, Hailstorm on a Dialga definitely would have done a bunch of damage, but I'm not sure a Body Press would KO afterwards anyway, so... Yeah. So it looks like they're going for Trick Room here. I don't know, though. Ferrothorn actually feels pretty good against Chansey Shuckle, so... We'll see. And I actually have 100% accurate Blizzards. Like, Blizzards don't miss. That's actually something to take into account. Okay. So Trick Room goes up. Don't know what the last attack on Dialga is. What would come in right now? Shuckle? I guess you could bring Shuckle in and then switch Dialga out into Chansey. I could Blizzard Body Press, but that's about the extent of it. You just switch out here and Guard Swap, right? I think. I think I'm just going to go for another Iron Defense and a Blizzard here. Single Freeze also just like dramatically changes this. Yeah, they're going to go for the switch. So it is the Shuckle Chansey endgame here, which shouldn't be super surprised by. I wonder if Chansey actually has Flamethrower here. I also could have just gone for Body Press onto Shuckle, but I don't know if that actually really does anything. Yeah, there's the Guard Split they're looking for. And typically Chansey in this position starts minimizing. But I think Life Orb Blizzard should actually do a decent amount here. It's very good to Shuckle. Single Freeze would dramatically swing this into our favor too. Okay. So we're at +4 now. I feel like Chansey probably has Flamethrower here. Otherwise they have no Ferrothorn tech at all. But I guess let's find out. Just gonna go straight for Body Press here and Blizzard. I mean, Ferrothorn's really good against this Shuckle, Chansey, Dialga stuff, so that's why I really wanted to bring it here. I don't know if... Yeah, the only thing I'm thinking about is whether or not a Max Hailstorm into Dialga would have changed much. Okay, it's good to always get Body Press off before they start going for any, like, minimized shenanigans. It's good damage. I actually Power Split into Kyurem, okay. And they are just going for minimize, so if we just hit a Body Press this next turn, we should just KO the Chansey. And Blizzard's guaranteed to hit here, which is great. So, like, they're taking Blizzard damage plus the Hail damage, which is really sweet. And there's the Freeze. Nice. Let's go, Kyurem. Like, the odds of us freezing when we get 4 Blizzards off in a row are pretty darn good, so, yeah. Sweet. Okay, so that's obviously great for us. Yeah, we just launch another Body Press into Chansey. I mean, another Body Press will KO right now, so we just need to hit it. The question is what I want to do with Kyurem here. Light Screen is still up, right? So that's obviously good. It's a great freeze, though, because now it makes me feel a little bit better even if I miss, for example. I think it's best to just body press here and protect with Kyurem. Because then we can just switch Kyurem out into the Grimmsnarl and we'll have effectively stalled out Trick Room here. So, yeah. This is a good demonstration, though, of like what the Chansey Shuckle strats want to do, right? You basically make Chansey very difficult to KO. Nice, we hit the body press. Okay, huge. Yeah, the main thing is just to get damage onto this thing before it can minimize too much, but we actually managed to KO it despite the guard split going off, which doesn't happen very frequently, but Iron Defense Ferrothorn probably one of the best things to have here. Oh gosh, they have Fire Blast on the Dialga, though. That might be enough for them to win. I should have switched out there, shouldn't I have? Oh gosh. Yeah, I think I should have switched. Oh my man. I don't have Fake Out here either. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna Spirit Break. And Draco, but oh, yeah, they actually had Fire Blast. But that's their answer to Ferrothorn. Why didn't I switch there? Okay, we still have Light Screen up here though, so like, and Spirit Break's doing okay damage, so if we survive this and we get a Draco off, like I think it's still okay. Oh, they offer Roar of Time. Okay, I don't even, does this KO? Let's see. It does KO. Light Screen wears off. I get another Spirit Break here. This is actually so close now. Ah, it probably was a misplay to not switch. I gotta think about that a little bit more. Okay, so let's Spirit Break first. It's good damage. I think I need 3 more, though. They're at -2 now, and I can also Light Screen here. I think I should Light Screen just to, yeah, take less the next couple of turns. Oh, I can't believe it. The Fire Blast. I should have seen into that. Oh, it's... it's Steel Beam. And Grimmsnarl hangs on. Holy cow. Thank goodness I went for Light Screen there. I would have lost. And so that's like very hyper-offensive Dialga then with Fire Blast, Steel Beam, and Roar of Time. So you're that's also why the max moves do more damage, yeah. Because you get the slight damage increase from Dialga, from the Roar of Time and from the Steel Beam. Wow, that was a wild game. Okay, what I have to think about was it a misplay to not switch out Kyurem? The reason I was worried about it was because let's say you go for a Steel type attack. It was definitely a misplay. Well, if Body Press misses onto... Actually, if Body Press just missed onto Chansey there, I would have just lost the game. So we're very lucky we connected there. But they also could have missed Fire Blast. Like, the odds are still not terrible for us, but just scary because the Chansey minimized. I mean, in the end, it worked out anyway, but if I switched Kyurem out there, I think it's always better to switch out, actually. It is definitely better to switch out there. There's no reason we needed to stay in with Kyurem there, so that was a misplay, which could have cost us there. I guess in the end it didn't matter because Roar of Time would have just KO'd us anyway, right? But, wow. Man, talk about a crazy game. Okay, we at least beat Chansey Shuckle. That always feels good because most of the times I go up against Chansey Shuckle, I feel like I'm not winning off actually hitting my attacks. Like, normally, once the Chansey gets set up, it feels doomed. But, yeah, Iron Defense Ferrothorn, if you're looking for an answer to that specifically, you should consider Ferrothorn. So Kyurem's good here, but Sableye is a really big nuisance. Like Grimmsnarl for the Scary Face speed control is fantastic. But we really want to get rid of Sableye like as quickly as possible. There's an argument to be made then to actually not even lead, like Incineroar can taunt it, which is pretty interesting. Like Incineroar Kyurem. Urshifu Grimmsnarl? Ah, that just feels so odd. I really don't like not leading Grimmsnarl, but the thing is, if I lead Incineroar, I can actually get a taunt off. So what if I actually scrap that? Go really passive. Incineroar, Grimmsnarl, Kyurem, and Urshifu. Part of me is actually even thinking of bringing Ferrothorn. No, Zacian and Sacred Sword. What am I saying? I feel like Thundurus, Ferrothorn, and Urshifu here are all kind of lackluster. Thundurus is probably the best if I Dynamax it, but I feel like Kyurem needs to be maxed in this game. So yeah. Oh, it feels really good to take down Chansey Shuckle though like that. that kind of combo is just a nightmare to go up against sometimes, so we take those. Alright. That is going to be Sableye and Charizard. How do I feel about this? I mean, I think turn 1 I can Light Screen. Light Screen Taunt Sableye is what I want to do here. Yeah. I mean, I could just blitz it. Nah, Taunt is better, I think. Light Screen. Charizard Max is here, presumably. You could just Sunny Day, G-Max Wildfire is definitely a possibility into Grimmsnarl. Man, if I just led... The tricky thing about Sableye is not knowing what dang moves it's going to have, or the item. Like, I've ran into Trick Eject Button multiple times, or Trick Iron Ball / Lagging Tail. So, it's just tough without knowing the item on Sableye. Okay, they don't go for a fake out of their own. I think it's probably just Sunny Day Wildfire here. That's my best bet. Yeah. That's actually a pretty big problem, isn't it? Because I can't outspeed this Charizard. So was the right play to Scary Face there? Jeez, that's so strong. Sableye and Best of 1 is so tricky. If I went Grimmsnarl Kyurem, I could have gone for Scary Face. It's Mentor. This is what I mean by how unpredictable this Pokemon can be. That feels a little bad. Okay. Yeah, that feels especially bad because I needed Grimmsnarl to get a Scary Face off against Charizard. So... I do think Max Hailstorm, I was actually playing a game earlier today, and I think it actually can one-shot the Charizard from this position. I feel like I actually just lost the game based off that turn 1, though, because how in the world do I beat Zacian now without speed control from the Grimmsnarl? I don't think I do. Which is a really big problem. Maybe it's through Incineroar with the Flare Blitz into it. Like, I want to just max Hailstorm into this thing. Taunt again into this thing. And, like, maybe my opponent reads into the max. Nah, I think you should always target Kyurem in this position. Actually, maybe you don't, because you know you have Zacian in the back anyway. But, yeah, the fact it was Mentorb just feels really, really bad. Like, you could run Mentorb, you could run the Fairy Resist. So if I led Grimmsnarl plus Kyurem, I could have just gone Scary Face, but then Sableye maybe has Fake Out. And then maybe they just Fake Out into the Grimmsnarl, right? Man, I'm recording this kind of late, and it's just all the things you don't want to see coming out. Shuckle, Chansey, the Ally Switch. Kyurem actually took that better than I expected it to be honest, but this is still not a great... I mean, at least I get rid of the Sun, but you just bring out Zacian and win the game. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Do I have any out here? Don't really think so. I could max... Well, I guess maybe we survive a Wildfire here, but man, it's been the most useless taunts ever. But this is what I mean. It's like Sableye. I think typically I expect any combination of Fake Out, Taunt, Quash, Ally Switch, Foul Play, Sunny Day, obviously within the context of my opponent's team here. So yeah, just a little bit hard to have like a definitive safe play in a best of 1 like this. If I were to replay this, given my opponent's lead, I probably would have gone Grimmsnarl Kyurem. But even then, Ally Switch obviously adds a whole nother variable to the mix. Okay, I think there's a... How can we win this? We need to one-shot Zacian here. So the question is, my opponent can't knock both of us out, right? Like, Max Quake won't KO Incineroar, Sacred Sword, Flare maybe doesn't KO us, so like... I need to protect one and then knock out... Well, I guess Kyurem's the only one I can protect here, actually. I mean, I do have Urshifu in the back. Man, their team is just so offensive here, though. Oh, this actually feels so bad, because I just end up setting up the Sun for Zacian anyway. I mean, Zacian is not exactly the best matchup for Kyurem, but... Wait, hold on. That actually may be the one thing they could have done to give us a shot. We need to survive this, though. Max Rockfall too, what? Okay. I mean, we actually end up KOing the Zacian here. Yeah. It's still so tough though. I think I end up fainting anyway, and I set up the sun, so Urshifu's just not going to KO Charizard, so I feel like I probably still end up losing the game, but yeah, at least we're keeping ourselves in this now. That was actually, like, because we would just hard lose to Zacian if Zacian just attacked there. If it's Rockfall Charizard though, I wonder if it's Assault Vested. Wait, did we see the Life Orb? I actually don't even remember. Alright, either way, we actually managed to KO Zacian, which is huge, but the other tough thing about this matchup is not having a good, reliable fourth Pokemon in the back. I guess in the context of this, I really wish I had Thundurus right now over Urshifu. Thundurus would be so much more useful because I could just bring it in and Wild Charge into Charizard right now. I think we faint from Wildfire here, yeah. But at least we keep ourselves in it. Maybe it should have been Thundurus over Urshifu. Urshifu doesn't even make that much sense. Thundurus would have been a lot better in the late game against Venusaur and Landorus. Like, I feel like now I'm just going to end up losing. Well, it is Urshifu. Yeah, and Thundurus. That was definitely Thundurus. Hailstorm Flare Blitz would have been a much better play there into Kyurem, but I didn't even know what the end game was because this early game was so tough for us. Haunted. I don't think either Pokemon's protecting here. You just, what, close combat and go for a flying type attack. So I guess my best bet now is hoping for Charizard to miss an attack, right? Or for some reason not be max speed and Surging Strikes actually KOs, but with the sun being up, well, Heat Wave. No, that's the wrong one. Although they went for Heat Wave and not... Wait, it is Life Orb. Yeah, what am I saying? And they win the Speed tie too. Well, I guess that tie doesn't matter, actually. Yeah, that's game over then. I assume they're... Unless they're not Focus Sash for some reason. Dang, if they actually missed the Urshifu, we would have won that one, I think. Well, actually, yeah, this KOs. This was close. I assume they're Focus Sash. Yeah, I'm surprised they opted for Heat Wave rather than a flying type attack. Maybe they actually don't have a flying type attack? That would be really bizarre. But I think if they missed, I'm not sure a close combat from them KOs. Oh, with Wildfire? It's probably enough anyway, but we can hope that for some reason they're, like... No, it's gotta be Sash. Sash, Sash, Urshifu, Koba Venusaur, or Weakness Policy Venusaur. But I guess there's a small chance. We have to win the speed tie first, though. Yeah, we don't win the speed tie either. Tough day. I don't know. I'm okay with how this one played out. Sableye is just like, it's such a tough Pokemon to go up against in a best of one. But it's also really hard to use, to be honest. Like, I don't like playing with it because I think it can be really, really tough to execute. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't think I would have won even if I brought Thundurus as my last one, because sure, Wild Charge KOs Charizard, but then like I take Recoil, Gmax Wildfire, and then you just Wicked Blow to KO me. So it's not like that would have just been like the clear solution in that one. I mean, it's really the first two turns. The first two turns just went really, really poorly for us, and part of it was not reading into the ally switch and kind of wasting the taunt onto Sableye because it was actually Mentorb as well. So that felt kind of bad. But you know, in another world in which I lead Grimmsnarl plus Kyurem, Sableye just tricks me on turn 1, and then Charizard just attacks me on Kyurem, and I insta-lose the game. Should it be like an eject button trick set, for example. So, yeah. Okay, this is really hyper-offensive. I'm a little bit nervous about the fling strategy into the Calyrex here. They don't have any Ice Resistor immunes. Well, no, other than Torkoal, but that's okay. I think in this matchup, though, I'm kind of forced to max Thundurus. I just am really nervous about that Regieleki. Like, are you physical Eleki? Because I want to go Grimmsnarl Thundurus here. I think probably Kyurem and Urshifu. Although Incineroar... I don't like Incineroar that much because we don't have a Dark-type attack. If Incineroar had a Dark-type attack, I actually think it's a decent Dynamax candidate, but it doesn't here. So, yeah. I'm trying to think what else I could have done better in that last game. I guess I should just assume Mentor unless I see eject button. But it's like eject button, Mentor, Fairy Resist Berry. I have to play differently around all three of them. I don't know if there's like a clear game path that I can do around all three. Where I'd make the same moves regardless, you know what I mean? Oh gosh, it's Lele Aleki. I'm so nervous about it being Dynamax Aleki. I don't know how much that's really picked up usage in the recent days, but... Did you really max Lucky here? Max Lightning? It's not bad. Man, I want to max Lightning here into the Tapu Lele. I know that sets up the terrain, but then it gets rid of Psychic Terrain, so then I can Scary Face Aleki. So like the Light Screen and max Lightning. I'm just really worried about this being the Life Orb Physical Aleki stuff, and if it is, we're probably doomed. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's rough, that's rough, that's rough. Okay. I assume it's... I mean, there's no Helping Hand this time around, but I'm also assuming it's Choice Scarf Tapu Lele, so I'm gonna assume it's a double up onto the Thundurus slot. How did I even get around that? Even if I knew this was coming? It's not like I have a good switch in. Ferrothorn? Yeah, that just feels kind of bad. I mean, our hope is maybe Lele's not scarfed here. I guess I could also gotten a Reflect Up rather than Light Screen. Yeah. Yep, that's physical. Oh, wow. Oh, but it's not Scarf Lele. Man, it actually takes Max Lightning? I did not expect. Okay, but they Gleam, so we actually should survive. That's still so much damage, though. Yeah, they're Life Orb, too. The problem with this is also, how do I even beat Calyrex in the late game? I can Scary Face this turn. Sure. Is this Sash Aleki? It's not even Life Orbed. Sash Aleki would actually make a lot of sense here. I think I'm gonna Darkness here and Scary Face into Aleki. Get a special defense drop onto Kyurem, because then I can bring in... Sorry, onto Aleki, because then I can bring in Kyurem. But the thing is, I think it's gonna be Focus Sashed here. Wait, what? Oh, it's one of those days. Man. I mean, White Herb actually makes a lot of sense because it helps against the Intimidates. Although as soon as you see White Herb, you... Wow. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say to that one. Wow. Honestly, a little bit speechless. Man, the physical Aleki meta is just rapidly evolving. That's what I have to say. That's unreal. Wow. And Lele even hangs on. Just that insult to injury. Yeah, I think this is a done deal at this point. I knew the threat of physical Aleki was a possibility, but... I mean, how can I cover White Herb Aleki plus Tapu Lele with this? Because the Lele is what makes things tough, because I can't go for any speed control with Grimmsnarl. It's Ferrothorn as a switch in, but that means I have to bring Ferrothorn, which feels really bad. Okay, I could see one way winning, and that's freezing Aleki with Blizzard. And they switch out. Actually, that switch might benefit us. They go into Torkoal. Probably Lightning into Urshifu, right? I also wonder how much Life Orb Blizzard does to Regieleki. Good Max Darkness. Yeah, that sets up the Calyrex for the end game. Yeah, makes sense. Breaks the Sash on Urshifu as well. Man, running into it feels bad. Like, this is why best of one can be really hard sometimes. Miss Blizzard. It's one of those days. It's funny because I was playing a bunch of games before this too, and I had such a tough like string of games where I was just running into like tough matchups, not really getting the rolls. You know, it's like a little bit of combination of everything. Sometimes when it rains, it really feels like it pours. Is there any way in which we can win this now? I think with Calyrex and with our special defense lowered, I don't think so. So I think it's just game over. I guess I can detect Fusion Flare. That miss also feels... I can still hope for them to not have Calyrex in the back, so you don't give up until you actually know all of your opponent's Pokemon. Because sometimes, you know, people misclick. They don't... Or they time out. They bring the wrong Pokemon. But, yeah, this one kind of felt rough, where... I mean, that wider physical Lecky, that's really interesting to see. It's wild to see how quickly the physical Lecky has come into the metagame, though. It's just because I think if we get that Scary Face, it's still really tough to win, though, to be honest. Man, how in the world do I cover for Fizz? I guess it's leading Kyurem. But then my opponent can just Max Darkness Moonblast into the Kyurem. It's just tough because I get outsped by, like, everything on my opponent's team in this one. And I can control their speed because I can't Fake Tears. Or, sorry, a Scary Face. So Psychic Terrain is definitely a really, really big issue with if you're using, or to go up against with this team. Yeah, I mean, Calyrex should just Expanding Force now. You switch into Indeedee and it's game over, so I'm gonna forfeit. Well played. It's really interesting to see wider Belecki. It makes a lot of sense though, honestly, because if you're using physical Regieleki, it feels really bad if your opponent has any Intimidate. So, but I want to play one more because those last two games definitely made me a little sad. All right, last game of the night. I honestly feel like I need a break from Pokemon after today. I don't like this either, but it's the battle of the Kyurems. They probably outspeed us, so we need to Scary Face their Kyurem twice, most likely. Doesn't feel ideal. I like Grim, Kyurem, Light Screen turn 1, switch our Kyurem out. Seems okay. Urshifu, and we're going to use Ferrothorn as a defensive switch in here, I think. Yeah. Man, late game ladder really does hit different, though. Those last 3 games have all been wild. Some really interesting stuff. Yeah. And, like, I mean, kudos to those players and their teams, right? They're like, very strong in best of 1, which is with the amount of surprises that they've had. So, yeah. The question I always ask myself is basically, did I have resources to win those matches? And games 2 and 3 were just tough, right? Because, like, I already felt like I was on the back burner. Well, I guess that's part of the problem was that it didn't feel like I led perfectly. But I don't know what a perfect lead against those last 2 games were, to be honest. Because I couldn't even think of anything as soon as I saw theirs. But also, props to my opponents because they were able to identify what their perfect lead was. That's actually, like, a really, really critical component. So, yeah. We'll see. Either way, it has been a night. Let me tell you that much. It has definitely been a night. Okay, it's Whimsicott plus Kyurem. I mean, the other interesting thing here is, like, you know, do you... Actually, well, we'll see whose Kyurem is faster. It's gotta be theirs. We're not max speed here, so... Yeah. I have 2 options. The first is actually to just Scary Face, Protect, or Max Guard, into Scary Face, Max Wormwind the next turn. I kind of want to go for that. It's just that my opponent could so easily just Max Hailstorm into Grimmsnarl right now. Yeah, actually, I feel like this max guard, like me max guarding or switching is entirely too obvious. So, I also could have just YOLO'd it and said, you know what, I'm just going to max Wormwind your Kyurem with no regard. That would have been fun. I think the main aim of today's game is having tough lead matchups. I never felt like I had the advantage after turn, like before turn 1, which means I either didn't lead well enough or we were just limited in terms of resources. This is also a good example because like sometimes you have laddering sessions like this where you just run into like the craziest things, or like have a multiple string of games where it feels like you're just being hard countered by everything you're running into. But like the teams we went up against just now are not like very common or standard, right? Oh my gosh, they went for Helping Hand. I feel like that definitely means they're targeting Grimmsnarl, but I don't know. Let's see. That's so frustrating, yeah, because I could have just Scary Face Wormwinded into their Kyurem. Okay, they did Wormwind into us though. Nice. That's huge. Okay. If you're my opponent, you Tailwind Max Guard now. I am just gonna Scary Face and Wormwind again. I don't care if you Max Guard here, because I don't want to actually knock out Whimsicott and give my... Wait. Okay. What's... What, Amoonguss? Ah. And then you Max Guard. Oh, if I actually just Hailstorm there, they were done for. That's a good switch. Okay, now we Light Screen to survive. I just hope they're not Sash on the Amoonguss, that's it. What? This has definitely been an interesting first 2 turns, though. Yeah, because if I just Max Hailstorm into Whimsicott last turn, I think that was probably the play. Light Screen, Max Hailstorm, because like there's no way Kyurem is just attacking there. Because you're either going to Max Guard Tailwind or switch out. That was actually a really, really good switch, but it was also very predictable, and I got too greedy with the KO in front of me. Okay, they're not Sash Amoonguss though, which is good. So I'm hoping with Light Screen we can survive Wormwind, but it's just, like, Kyurem is just so powerful that I'm not sure we do. Okay, so there's the Wormwind. And we survive with Light Screen. Okay, nice. That's enough. Okay. They haven't Tailwinded yet either. And I still have Scary Face on my end. Feels fitting that our probably last game with this team is a Kyurem White Mirror. I haven't seen one of those ever, actually. Let's see. They ran Incineroar. Okay. I'm okay with that. Because that means you don't have actually much offense. It's better Incin than Aleki or Landorus, I think. Aleki would have been kind of scary here. Protect Kyurem, my Kyurem is really obvious. What do you do if you're my opponent, though? Because this position's not great for my opponent right now. Got Urshifu. Ferrothorn in the back's very good, but if we eliminate this, well, no. Kyurem actually still does so much damage to Ferrothorn, so not necessarily. Now, if I'm thinking if you're my opponent, you could fake out Kyurem. No, you know what the sickest play is? You Parting Shot Grimmsnarl, switch Kyurem out into Whimsicott. So I straight up may just not protect Kyurem here. Because the protect is so obvious. And just Blizzard instead. Yeah, I'm going to Blizzard Spirit Break here. Yeah, they didn't protect. Although they didn't switch either. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we just knocked out Kyurem here, so that's good. This was such an interesting game because we were both trying to just read into our protects, basically, the whole time. Oh, they didn't even Parting Shot. That's interesting. They just blitzed. Okay, well, that's game over then. But I'm curious. I'm like, they didn't make the play I was expecting to, so they were expecting Kyurem to protect there, and I guess they doubled up onto Grimmsnarl. Yeah, that makes sense. That would make a lot of sense here. Okay, Whimsicott comes back out. And with Urshifu in the back, Ferrothorn's always going to win against Whimsicott, so all we need to do is KO the Incineroar. Can Scary Face Whimsicott here, and Blizzard. You'd have to Tailwind Flare Blitz into Kyurem, but then that's fine, because then I just bring out... Yeah, they just end up forfeiting. That was a really interesting game. I mean, Scary Face was a really good tech there, but I actually think it... Okay, no, it's actually, yeah, because they didn't set up Tailwind. I mean, the Helping Hand made sense. Oh, I am curious on their Kyurem composition here. So it's Life Orb, yeah, Timid Max, had Max Quake. So they're probably Earth Powering into the Kyurem. Mentor, Whimsicott, Figgy, Incineroar, Landorus, Koba, Amoonguss, and then Magnet-Aleki. So no Sash, actually, which is interesting with 3 potential Sash users, like Aleki, Amoonguss, and Whimsicott. None of them actually have it here. Yeah, well, I guess it's probably better to still... No, I feel like Kyurem in turn 2 would have never just left themselves exposed, but I'm not 100%. Like, sometimes you just decide to YOLO and make like, YOLO plays, right? The good thing was, in the end, they just had no offense. Like, Landorus wouldn't have actually been that helpful for them, because I could just go for Scary Face onto that. Actually, even with the Lecky, we just Scary Face either. So, like, Scary Face was really the MVP of this one in the end. So, yeah. That felt like the most quote-unquote normal match out of the 4 we had today. But, man, it has been a day of Pokemon, that's for sure. But I think it's important, you know, sometimes, like I said, you have just a wild streak of games. You run into some crazy stuff. And sometimes it's good to, yeah, I mean, like, it can be tilting, for sure. And sometimes it can be just, like, wow, what in the world? Like, how in the world do I, like, get these teams, like, you know, game after game? But one thing that's important in Pokemon is, like, you know, no matter what the strategy you're up against, you always have to ask yourself, like how what's my best path to victory, right? And, you know, those 2 last examples are, like, you know, for example, if I were building for a major tournament, right? Let's say, like, the Series 8 Players' Cup qualifiers, like, I'd be like, look, you know, it's not like Sableye and White or Regieleki are super meta. So, like, those sets alone, do I have to change my team drastically to prepare for? Well, it's a question that you really have to answer. But for me personally, I'd be like, probably not. It's less about those specific sets, though, and more about the overall context of the match. Like, why did Charizard give me so much trouble in Game 2? Well, it was because it outspeeds everything bar Thundurus, but Thundurus didn't feel really good because it could get Will-O-Wisp by Sableye. So then that feels more of, like, a structural issue. It's where it's, like, maybe the entire, like, like if I were editing this team, for example, it's like maybe I need to like, get rid of a Pokemon to improve the matchup, for example. And then in Game 3, I did feel really, like, kind of just tightened by the Aleki plus Tapu Lele combination. And that's one thing to note too, right? The metagames make development sometimes, and so, like, physical Dynamax Regieleki is something that you're going to see a lot more of probably in the next month or so. Well, I guess Series 8 is only a month at this point. So that's something that no one was using basically until, like, the last 2 weeks, and now it's suddenly, like, seen a real surge in popularity. And so that's actually something where it's like, okay, maybe I actually need to make a drastic team adjustment to adjust for this, because a lot of people are using it, especially to counter, like, the Assault Vest Thunduruses that are running around, for example, right? So that would be a good example. And I think this team was built, like, weeks ago. So yeah, like, the original creator actually mentioned, I think he has updated the team since then. I just, like, didn't see this run tool until recently. So like, that's the thing. Sometimes you do need to update your team to follow meta trends to make sure that you have better answers against, like, what's popular, for example. But I want to make sure it doesn't sound like I'm just, like, blaming the team, for example. I just want to make, like, a good example out of this, where sometimes you have matches and you're just like, man, it really felt like I couldn't do anything, and often that comes to, like, the team building process and, like, what you can do in team preview, for example. And it's not like games 2 and 3 were like that, actually. Like, I felt like we had options. It was just that we got countered by, like, specific items that our opponents had, and also had to play in a specific way. And, like, yeah, I think, like, Sableye is just one of the most variable Pokemon, to be honest. It's just really tough because it's, like, impossible to predict. But the main thing in beating Sableye is you either want to one-hit KO it or you want to apply a ton of pressure to their partner, and I didn't do a good job of that in Game 2, which is why, like, Kyurem could have been the adjustment that I could have made, for example. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one. I definitely need a break after today. Those matches were just really wild. But thanks as always for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, and I'll catch you all next time. All right, peace.